Wisdom in the bottle. I need constant supervision. Greetings and salutations. Welcome one and all. Yeah. Oh, it has been a while. It has been a while. It's been a time. Oh, it has. It has. And I should note that, it's been a while. And yeah, we're gonna be redoing a few things. I had a couple episodes planned, but obviously that's not gonna be happening now for reasons. Yeah, mostly it's just I waited too damn long, and editing these just took a lot longer than I thought. Life kind of snuck up on me. Shit happens. So maybe they'll be posted at some point in time. I don't know. We'll see. They're just not as relevant now. And I just have a lot more stuff I want to talk about. I have a lot more shit I want to rant about. And that's the whole point of all this. In the end, I mean, yeah. So, we'll do as we ought to do when recording these. And that's whatever the hell you happen to be drinking. If you are, in fact, drinking with us tonight, raise your glass, damn it. Raise it. And say with me. I don't say shit, actually. I swear I haven't started drinking yet. I'm just about to begin. And damn, rum is dominating these episodes. But before I get into all this, a toast to everyone and all of you, a toast. To my loved ones, to my family, my friends, a long life of health, wealth, love, and happiness in your past, present, and future relationships, endeavors, jobs, whatevers. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, Daddy likes. Oh, Daddy forgot how much he likes that. Oh, Lord. So, yeah. As the title's gonna tell you, I'm here for one reason, and one reason alone. And, Christ, why? I know exactly why. I got pissed off. And not just necessarily pissed off in just the sense I was kind of sitting there going, man, this pisses me off. I've lost patience with a lot of things, really. But also, mainly, for purposes of this episode, the Terminator franchise. That is a thing. And that is a thing we need to talk about. Why do we need to? Well, we don't actually need to at all. But I kind of want to because, fuck, man. The whole purpose of all these things I plan to do in my head, the whole point of me doing this, it's cheaper than therapy thing, talking to you all and drinking occasionally, is to just get this shit out of my system. But it's also in some way, it kind of works to prove whether or not I'm sane, I guess. I don't know. But I was watching because it was free on Amazon, and I finally found myself at a low point enough to say, you know what? I would like to see what the hell kind of train wreck Terminator Dark Fate was. And holy fuck, was it ever. I mean, there's there is almost not enough words to describe the fuckery that was this movie. And I just kind of want to know, what did a Terminator get sent back in time at some point and just kill off original thought in these movies? Because they had at one point, the first two fucking films, they had something. And then after that, these movies, they turned into sort of the Star Wars prequels. And I'm going to get to that because it's one of the better analogies I found about this fucking movie. It's this whole franchise is lightsabers. All right? Terminator, oh god, fuck it. Okay, so the first Terminator film, a machine is sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor. Her son, John Connor, is the leader of the resistance that is going to take down Skynet. Skynet is evil machines. They decided to destroy humanity because it deemed, once it went online as a defense system, that humans were the biggest threat of all. So it decided to eradicate us. So, at the defeat of Skynet, they sent back a machine to kill Sarah Connor so that her son would never lead the resistance. The humans that survived, led by John Connor, sent a man through as well to the same time to protect Sarah Connor from the Terminator. That was it. Simple as it can be, right? Terminator 2 comes around. Well, before that, let's okay. If I'm gonna do this right, I'll fucking do it right. So Kyle Reese is the man that was sent back in time to protect Sarah Connor. They fight. Lots of fun stuff goes on. Couple new catchphrases are said. Careers are made. And Kyle Reese ends up being, oh fuck me, even that's got some fun shit going on. I'm gonna post, I think, maybe highlights, because I recorded myself watching these films and I drank a lot at points during the later parts, so I might post this. But anyway, Kyle Reese is a guy that jerked off to a picture of Sarah Connor when he wasn't running away from machines trying to fight and live in the future. So he's obsessed with Sarah Connor, gets sent back in time to protect Sarah Connor. All the while, John Connor knows this fucking guy bangs his mom and is his dad. So he sent his daddy back so he could be born. Really cool shit going on in the story. Pretty awesome stuff. It's fun. Even as a one-off, it's a good movie. Sarah Connor goes from being a just run-of-the-mill, kind of down on her luck waitress to suddenly having to become a badass and protecting herself. And it pays off. It's good. She really transitions well from beginning to end. And it's something they really do carry on in the sequel. Sarah Connor loses Kyle Reese. He's killed off by the machine. And she ends up being the one crushing the fuck out of the Terminator. Movie is over. Here comes Terminator 2, Judgment Day, T2, if you grew up in my era. This movie has more copies available on DVD and Blu-ray and 4K than the fucking Army of Darkness movies, for Christ's sake. But yeah, people still praise it for what it did at the time. It deserves it. I'm not saying it doesn't. It was worth it. It was a fun movie. So, premise of Terminator 2. A machine is sent back in time to kill John Connor, and another sent back to protect him. Which one will get to him first? So, yeah. The original Terminator, the T-800, played by Arnold, he's the protector bot. And in this one, Sarah Connor is in a mental hospital because she fucked up her son's life, telling him about a future and being a great leader, and he didn't really want to hear any of this shit. She stockpiles a bunch of guns. Fun stuff. Great stuff to grow up with. And the new threat in this film, the new Terminator, is made of liquid metal, which was pretty fucking cool. And more importantly, because it's going to come up later, more importantly, this Terminator, the T-1000, made of liquid metal, it is said that it can replicate people. It can look like people. It can take on full uniforms, full every frickin' thing. And then it usually kills the other person, so that way it doesn't leave them around and, gets discovered. This is just how it works. That's how it is. It's fine. It works. It was cool. And it can also turn its limbs into weapons, essentially stabby weapons, which is a pretty cool scene where, disguised as John Connor's stepmom, he ends up stabbing a knife arm through the skull of his stepdad. And it is an actual knife. It's a chef's knife that they make the arm look like because she was cutting vegetables in the other hand. So again, pretty cool. It was a unique villain, and it was an interesting turn of the story to have the original Terminator, who every time Sarah Connor sees when they do find it, all she can think of is, this thing tried to kill me. It almost succeeded. It killed the only other man that I fell in love with and had as my son. You know, it's fucked up because she sees this thing and all she sees is a death machine trying to kill her. But now she has to learn to work with it because this thing wants to protect her. She doesn't trust it at fucking all until later on when that trust is earned. And she decides to use the Terminator to learn all she can about Skynet, about who creates it, when all this shit happens, and everything else she needs possibly to stop it. Which leads to the movie's own subplot of them trying to kill Miles Dyson, the guy responsible for Skynet and creation of the Terminators, and blah, 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 blah. You all grew up. You all should have known this by now. If you haven't seen the movies, fucking shame on you for listening to this shit first instead of watching the movie yourself. So, in the end, you get a climactic battle, liquid metal Terminator versus endoskeleton Terminator. You get a fun scene of the Terminator becoming human and telling Edward Furlong he knows now why humans cry. So the Terminator must lower himself down into molten lava metal stuff thing because he is the last bit of shit that remains that can stop Skynet from being a thing that happens. So they must get rid of poor Arnold, the Terminator. So there's a lot of tears, a lot of sadness, and he's gone. He's fucking melted away and he is dead as fuck. So yay. Sarah Connor, John Connor, they can go party their asses off, have a normal life because Skynet never fucking happens. Until Terminator 3 comes around and fucks everything up. So, the unique story in Terminator 3 is a machine is sent back in time to kill John Connor. But, not just John Connor. John Connor and his top fucking commando his fucking friends. Fucking humans that help him. His fucking leaders, his generals. And another machine is sent back to protect John Connor. What's unique about this machine, I wonder? Well, wonder no more, you should. Because this machine is partly nanobot liquid metal Terminator with endoskeleton Terminator. So they've combined the T-1000 and the T-800. Spooky, scary shit. But also for no particular reason other than this is what the Terminator saw. This Terminator appears as female, which this Terminator can do much like the T-1000. It can replicate things that it sees. So it decides it wants to be a busty, red-lipped, blonde-haired woman. Good for them. So it kills off a few of his generals, tries to go after John Connor. He talks about how his mother died and how he is just kind of living life one day at a time. Actually, he's not. He's kind of just on the fucking streets. So yeah, savior of mankind and resistance. He's wondering the same thing we are, which is, ponder this, how for are there Terminators if I had thwarted the plans of Skynet? Well, you're basically told humanity's fucked because Judgment Day still happens. It was just delayed a couple years, couple things. Because, okay, going back right to Terminator 1, according to that timeline, 1997 was the future when the Terminators have taken over the world and humanity is nothing but a fart in the fucking wind. So by the time we get to Terminator 3, obviously that didn't happen, but it's gonna happen. We just don't know when. But apparently soon. That's why the Terminators are back, trying to kill him again. And of course, they're not successful. But because again, this is a unique Terminator, it takes the Protectortron, Arnold, and temporarily turns Arnold evil, which the Arnold bot tries to fight against. And this Arnold bot has emotions, which is weird. I mean, for a machine that we're told in the first one has no emotions, cannot be reasoned with, can't be bargained, will not and won't stop, can't sleep, won't sleep, robots for life, this motherfucker suddenly has raw emotion. That's okay, sure, fuck it, why not? So obviously John Connor and humanity kind of win. The movie basically, oh Christ, John Connor and his future wife end up locked away in a bunker, a military bunker, and all the bombs are dropping. Nuclear bombs are going off everywhere because the new Skynet is online and live. So now John Connor is going to lead the resistance. That's where the movie ends. So where could things possibly go from there? Well, they kind of did a Predator thing where they decided, hey, let's show everyone the future war that everyone keeps wanting to see. So you wanted future war? That's what you fucking get. Except not at all. This was the worst version of the future war they could have fucking done, but they tried. They tried. And they tried to a point because they had to rewrite the ending. Because the script leaked online, which they denied was the actual script, and people laughed their asses off hysterically at how the movie ended. But before we get into that, this one had a somewhat new premise. It didn't know what the fuck it wanted to do. A prisoner who we're introduced to in the beginning volunteers his body for a project he doesn't know about, and he's not made into a Terminator. He's made half man, half machine. He's basically fucking RoboCop. Okay, they just take his brain, slap him in a machine, and there you go. He's got emotions. He bleeds. He cries. He feels. He's just fucked up inside. So the whole movie is following this guy around as he doesn't question how he goes from being locked up in a prison to suddenly in a post-apocalyptic Fallout world where people are being hunted down by machines. He just doesn't know what's going on. He's just a man out of his element at a time. But then it's discovered, yes, he is a machine. So John Connor naturally assumes this man's out to kill him, so he can't trust him. But this man doesn't give a fuck who John Connor is because, again, the movie did not know what the fuck it wanted to do. So John Connor decides, you know what? You're a pretty okay machine, and I think I'm gonna trust you. So I'm gonna do what you say we should do. We're gonna go to Skynet and we're gonna take him down, buddy. And that's when we find out from the man who didn't know he was a Terminator, finds out he is a Terminator, and the machines tell him, haha, you did exactly what we wanted you to do. You brought John Connor to us, you fucking idiot. And we're gonna kills him. We're gonna kills him good, I tell yas. And they try. They CGI a young Arnold because, hey, this is, fuck, I think this is 15 years after Terminator 3, but still now somewhere before they take down Skynet, or at the time they take down the new Skynet. I don't fucking know. And following these films, their goddamn timeline, it's just, I need another drink. God, that rum should not be that smooth. I mean, oh, let me rephrase that. Rum that cost you $20 should not be as smooth as a $130 bottle of rum. Let's just put it that way. So yes, prisoner made into a Terminator, doesn't know he's a Terminator, finds out he's a Terminator, bows with his own humanity and the fact that he's here to kill somebody he doesn't even fucking know, leads the man to his doom, and the man almost dies, but he ends up sacrificing his own life to save John Connor, to save humanity. The end. The fun part about that movie is the original ending, which Warner Brothers claimed was never part of it at all. That was a fake script that got out there, but fuck them, it exactly was what was going to happen. In the original, the Arnold Terminator ends up succeeding and killing John Connor. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? So he kills John Connor. Everyone's sad, majorly sad. They don't know what they're gonna do. So Mr. Terminator, fighting with his own humanity because he's half machine, half human, he decides, guys, I know this is gonna sound weird, but stay with me. I just happen to be the same height, same build, same weight as John Connor. So I say we peel my fucking skin off and slap his on me. I'll emulate his voice and I'll be the new leader of the resistance. Because not all machines are bad. We're just sometimes perceived that way. So that's what we're stuck with. That's what was going to happen in the original. And I kind of wish in a way that they left that in, because at least that would have made the film seem like more of a joke that it actually was trying hard not to be, but ultimately came to be. It's also the film that gave us the wonderful Christian Bale yelling at a light guy because he fucked around with the lighting on set. Anyway, that's Terminator Salvation. It just didn't know what the fuck it wanted to do. It was kind of a waste of time, and it didn't do that well of showing us the future war we all wanted. But don't worry. Now we have Terminator Genisys. And, oh fuck. What did Terminator Genisys do to us? What did Terminator Genisys do different? A machine is sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor. But another machine was sent back before this machine to protect her. And a man is sent back in time to protect Sarah Connor, only to find the good Terminator beat her to it. So yeah, I guess he can go home. Job well done. He doesn't need to do anything. Apparently the first Terminator through is to explain why Arnold is older, a little flabby, because the Terminators have a long life, but they do age because that makes them more human. So this Terminator ended up saving Sarah Connor as a little girl and raising her to be an American badass since her teen years or something. So she knows all about what's going to happen, and she saves Kyle Reese instead of Kyle Reese saving her. And she's told by the Terminator that they need to mate because they need to make John Connor so that they can save the world. Well, she's not going to do that because fuck being told what to do. But they've got to move the story forward. Things got to happen. So Arnold, in his spare time, was building a time machine, I think in the fucking barn. I admitted, I said, I warned, I had been drinking a lot by the time I got to Genisys. So I'm gonna say, for the sake of argument, because it doesn't really fucking matter with these movies, Arnold built a time machine in a fucking barn. And the whole purpose of this is so that they can fast forward to 2017, because that's a good idea. So they fast forward, travel through time, and they meet up with John Connor, the same John Connor that sent this version of Kyle Reese through time. Only this time we find out that John Connor is not John Connor. He's been taken over by nanobite Terminators. Dun 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 dun. So yeah, that's the big twist. There's a villain Terminator, and it's entirely nanobite. So that's where things are. So yeah, they end up killing John Connor's clone Terminator, and now live in a world where there is no John Connor, just Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese. And that's kind of where things were left. Now we get to the day, now we get to the abortion. Now we get to the day that you go back to work after a week-long vacation and you really don't want to go back in. Terminator Dark Fate, the story. A machine is sent back to kill John Connor, but it succeeds. And then, things seem okay, but they're not, because Judgment Day still fucking happens. So we fast forward past that, because now that Terminator's job is done, fuck them, they're gone. They did their part for King and Country, move the fuck on. So the real story of Terminator Dark Fate is a Terminator is sent back in time to kill the leader of the human resistance that takes down the new Skynet, now called some fucking name I don't give a fuck to remember. But they also sent back a protector, another robot, a friendly robot. Can you kind of see that these movies don't really have any fucking originality? That they're kind of repeating something that happened, 3 movies ago? Because they can't fucking pull a lump of fucking peanut out of a goddamn turd they squeezed out a week ago? I mean, god damn. So yeah, John Connor is fucking dead. It's the only scene in this movie that actually was kind of funny to watch, even though it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be grim and dark. We see a digitally de-aged Sarah Connor and John Connor having fun on the beach, having drinks. She's smiling, watching her son struggle to get his dick game on with this hot girl at a bar. In comes Arnold Bot, and this motherfucker just shoots him down with a shotgun, just point blank, bam, 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 and then somehow walks off and nobody fucking does anything. It was pretty cool. It was a fun scene that made me laugh for a lot of fucking reasons. And I just thought, well, that is exactly what the fuck should have happened in Terminator 3. If they had done that instead, holy fuck. I mean, could you have imagined if they actually carried through and the Terminator actually did go through with this? Because it was even talked about. It was talked about in, I think, yeah, it was actually in Terminator 3 that they had captured a Terminator that looked like Arnold, because that Terminator was sent into their base camp to kill John Connor. And I think it succeeded, but his wife reprogrammed it to go back to protect John Connor. And I don't know how that's going to save things. I think that's why some stuff was supposed to have happened. But anyway, imagine if that fucking happened in part 3 instead of fucking this abortion of a fucking film. It would have been something different, because you could have gone off in a couple different ways. You could have introduced a new hero, which this one tries to do, until it becomes the exact same fucking story. And so now that we got this shit going on, like I said, new protagonist, so a new robot has to be sent back in time to kill her, and a new robot has to be sent back to protect her. What makes this robot different, you say? Well, we've had nanobite Terminator, we've had liquid metal and endoskeleton Terminator, we've had liquid metal Terminator, and we've had the original Terminator. What did they do different this time? This time, it's a liquid metal Terminator that's not liquid metal, it's more like nanobite metal, liquid nanometal over an endoskeleton Terminator. So it's two Terminators in one that can split off at any time and fuck shit up. All right. So that's what you get. And the new Terminator you get, the good one, is a female by choice. They were made this way. And they apparently... Oh, fuck. It's a new, not as entirely efficient Terminator. Again, I'm not even gonna blame the fucking booze on this. I'm gonna blame the writing on this. This character is so fucking inconsistent that it's more like a plot Terminator, because her powers just kind of come and go as they please. It's like she has burst of power and then she needs to recharge. So it seems like maybe it was something that Anakin built as a kid and just had as a project laying around, and somebody stuck a half-charged Duracell in and then decided, oh shit, this Terminator's not going to really be able to do much for more than 10 minutes, just like a drone. So we're going to have to charge her for 5 hours for 10 hours of flight time. So that's essentially what this Terminator does. She goes pow, 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 fight. And then, oh, fuck me, I need to rest. So, yeah. We bring back old Sarah Connor, who really doesn't look like she has anything she wants to do with this. She doesn't want to be there. She's getting a paycheck, so she's kind of, you know, there's that. I mean, I have nothing wrong with casting older actresses. Give them work. They could fucking use it. There's some good actresses out there that need to do more than just being offered the parts of the fucking grandma. I mean, fuck me. Jamie Lee Curtis showed more character, more development, and more emotion in the latest Halloween movie than fucking this woman did as Sarah Connor. Linda Hamilton did not want to fucking be in this movie, and I do not blame her. It's just, fuck me running. It's just horrible. It's horrible. It's sad. And then it gets really fucking... God, I need a drink. I underestimated this movie. So, how could this movie go from bad to worse to insanely fucked? You have Sarah Connor running into the new Terminator, Danny, and Danny's friend, being attacked and chased by the new Terminator. So she attacks. She's still a badass. She's heavily armed. She's the Sarah Connor you remember from part 2. They don't go into how she somehow survived when part 3 told us she was killed, she died, whatever. I think they tried saying she died of cancer. That was a big thing back at the time for a lot of actors to have died from. So, anyhoozle, she's been getting mysterious text messages that tell her where Terminators are landing and how to kill them, where they are so she can kill them. And she's never questioned who's been sending this to her. So we find out on the new Terminator, she's actually tattooed with coordinates to where they should go. This is kind of interesting. So we follow these coordinates, and it leads us to a ranch where Arnold the Terminator has aged horribly. He is a human acting machine who has a family and has had this family for, I think he said 25 years or some shit like that. I mean, it's fucking bizarre. But she was a battered wife that he helped out, and apparently they got married. And when he was asked, well, hey, why do you Does she not know you are a Terminator? What about the sex? He straight out tells her that they have a sexless marriage and this woman is totally content just having someone there to listen to her. Okay. So, okay, that's ha 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 ha. It's funny, I guess, but I get the joke they're making. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. Yay you movie. So, they don't care to go any more past that. Just that this woman knows he did some bad things, and one day these people, his past, might come to pay him a visit. And if that happens, then fuck his family. They're gonna have to pack up and go and just deal without him. And that's what happens. He literally tells them that he set up everything so that he'll just tell his family, yeah, I'll be here, I'll listen to you, I'll love you, I'll raise your son, we'll have a family, I'll provide for you. But, you know, there's going to be a day that comes along where I'm just going to say, yeah, fuck it, code blue, and I'm out. And she's like, okay, that's cool. And that happens. So we learn Arnold has been texting Sarah Connor where these Terminators will be, how to kill them, everything that she's been getting. Sarah Connor wants to rightfully kill the Terminator because this is the fucking machine that killed her son. So why? Why should they trust this machine after it blew away her son with a fucking 12 gauge? The Terminator tells us that after it completed its mission, it grew a conscience. That over the years, it realized how what it did affected her. And it felt bad. It felt bad for what it did. So it wanted to make it up to her by helping her to kill other machines. And somehow, I don't understand this. Somehow tattooing onto this machine coordinates to where he'll be and him knowing this would be what would happen. I just, fuck. Fuck me. So, oh, you vault. So they go off. It's time to leave. And before they do, Arnold has to explain to them, and the new Terminator as well, I believe, explains how this new Terminator works. This is why I said you should remember what I mentioned about the liquid Terminator in Terminator 2. This Terminator can also replicate people. However, it cannot replicate someone until it has killed them. Only once that person is dead can it replicate a person. So my question becomes, what happened? I mean, I get it. I get it. This is a new Terminator. I understand that. It's a new Terminator. I understand that. It's a new AI. I understand that. But what the fuck? I mean, how do you go from a liquid metal Terminator that can replicate, even if it's a living person, it can replicate them? Doesn't need to kill them at all. They can live a fucking full life if they wanted to and end up arrested later for the murder of hundreds of thousands of people. How do you go from that to, I can't replicate you unless I kill you first? I don't understand that. But again, this movie is kind of riding its own fucking timeline because it's following the new trend of, let's take a familiar franchise, say fuck you to the other sequels, this is the real sequel. This is kind of this is kind of funny because another series did this, but did it better and worse at the same time because they ignored the better sequels and so they never happened. Do you know what that was? The fucking Toxic Avenger, motherfuckers. Fucking Lloyd Kaufman made Citizen Toxie, which I believe is Toxic Avenger 5. And they hired fucking Stan motherfucking Lee to come out and say that The other sequels were completely shit and don't matter. This is the real sequel. So that's what you get. You get a fucking movie that is just half genius, half fucking bizarre shit in your face. What am I watching? But it still kind of worked. It looked worse than the other movies. And I don't know how, but it managed beautifully to look worse. And it wasn't nearly as charming and heartwarming as the sequels that it destroyed, but it still fucking worked. It was still funny. It was still goddamn ridiculous. And you still were able to enjoy it. This movie, you were not able to. Even Halloween, I mean, I can understand when you have 9 or 10 fucking sequels to a franchise and then you decide, let's scrub it all and go right back to the source and say, this is the real sequel. You can do that, but if you're going to do it, you should at least make it fucking good. You should at least put a half decent effort into it. I mean, it's the difference between when you're on the toilet and you're squeezing out a shit and you're like, oh, okay, I got to give one last push because I can feel the end of this is near. And you either push and keep pushing. When you want to give up, you just keep pushing until you shove that shit out. Or, God fucking help you, you end up cutting it in half. And then you're like, fuck it, I'm done. Ring the bell. No mas. Toss in the towel. And then you're going to spend about 4 minutes wiping shit that you smeared on your ass. That's what this movie fucking did. It had the chance, a fucking nice chance to try and redeem itself. Fucking James Cameron stroked his own dick at this movie and said, I approve. I don't give a fuck what he approves of. He's gone way past these fucking movies. How he approved of it is because he got fucking money for it. It's the same thing John Carpenter does and admitted he does when they tell him, hey, we want to make a new movie. He's like, nah, fuck it, I don't want to do it. Like, well, hey, can we remake your movie? And he said he just puts his hand out there and waits until a check magically falls into his hand. And then he's like, yeah, sure, do what the fuck you want to do. He just doesn't fucking care. As long as he gets paid, he's happy. But he loved what they did with the new Halloween. He endorsed the fuck out of that. James Cameron, fuck, he is still off in Avatar land as if Avatar is gonna be a fucking thing that people still want to see. That's I should save that. I should save it. That's another rant for another time. The man doesn't deserve all of it, but still, fuck James Cameron. This movie did not deserve to be. It did not need any life whatsoever, any effort these actors put, which is very, very fucking minimal, is just, they were better off filming them taking an actual shit, because at least then you could see raw fucking emotion on their faces when something happens that you should be reacting to. This whole movie was just a fucking waste. And to again stick with the fucking formula that was developed in part 2, because you can't fucking get away from that shit. You can't even, going back even to part fucking 1, is there literally nothing more you can do with the Terminator films other than to keep doing good robot, bad robot? Do you really fucking need that? I mean, shit, even Aliens 3, for as much shit as people throw at that movie, it had the fucking balls after Aliens 2, okay? Alien 2. It had the fucking balls after that action movie, which James Cameron did, to just say, you know what? We're going back to the original formula of one alien being the scary fucking thing. They decided to say, fuck action, fuck multiple aliens, we're sticking to one goddamn thing and we're gonna make it scary again. At least they tried. They tried doing something entirely different on an entirely different setting. A little familiar, all new. This movie was nothing fucking new. Now, I mentioned earlier, and I'd not forgotten it. I have not forgotten it. This movie is like lightsabers. It's the fucking Star Wars prequels is what these movies became after part 2. What do I mean by that? I shall elaborate. When we had The Phantom Menace come out, before everyone had the internet and everyone could collectively agree, yeah, the movie wasn't that good. You didn't have that at the time. Okay, you didn't really have that forum open. All we had was each other to bitch about the movie. But the one thing that everyone was so fucking hyped about grabbing their sacks and tugging on was the fact that you had a motherfucking Sith with a dual-edged lightsaber. Holy shit. I mean, goddamn, how cool is that? He's fucking wielding and swinging this thing around, spinning it around, doing tricks with this fucking thing. It's fucking awesome. That no one can fucking deny that. It was so cool to see. So how do you top that? Attack of the Clones comes out and says, hey, you've heard of a dual-edged lightsaber. Now get ready for dual wielding lightsabers. Ooh, wow. Red and blue. Ooh. So where do you go from that? Well, you had the dual lightsaber. You had dual wielding lightsaber. Get ready for General motherfucking Grievous spinning 4 fucking lightsabers at the same time. Do you need a new pair of pants because you jizzed in them? Too fucking bad. We'll give you a towel and a bill. That's what this fucking became. It became we're going to use the same formula, good robot, bad robot, but we're going to up the ante. Okay, what do we got? Well, the first time we had a human versus a machine. Okay, this time we have a good machine, the old one, versus a bad machine, the new one. It's a liquid metal Terminator. Ooh, it can do everything at once. It can turn its body inside out, backwards, forwards, turn itself into whatever the fuck it wants to, and fuck shit up. Pretty cool concept, right? Well, it was. And people liked it. They dug it. You could freeze it, and then it could melt itself back into a pool, put itself together. Hurrah. It was almost unstoppable, but they did. Okay, so you heard of Liquid Terminator. What do you got for us now? Well, we've got Liquid and Solid Terminator combined. Ooh, scary, scary, scary. Well, okay, sure, why not? Is that all you got? Well, we're also going to make her a woman. And we're going to give it a sexist fucking scene where she's getting pulled over by a cop, sees a billboard or some such with a woman with fucking huge tits. So she decides to give herself a huge bust to get out of a ticket. Ooh, haha, silly funny. And, well, fuck it. Where do we go from there? Well, hold on to your fucking ass now. We're going to have a nanobite Terminator because fuck what happened with half human Terminator. Nobody gives a shit about Terminator Salvation, am I right? So we're going to go with a nanobite Terminator. Well, that's fucking awesome. You can't see that coming. It's going to be able to replicate people just like the T-1000 did. So it's not entirely original, but it's fucking nanobites. It's awesome. It's in the future. It killed John Connor. Ooh, ah. So you've had Liquid Terminator. You've had Liquid and Solid Terminator. You had nanobite Terminator. Get the fuck ready for dual Terminators in one. Holy shit. My balls just hit the fucking floor and I'm stepping on them now as we speak. That's still not fucking original. Goddamn. I just can't stop but thinking fucking General Grievous. When everyone is like, wow, man, seeing Anakin wield 2 lightsabers at once, that's cool. I wonder if they're going to have more Jedi doing that. No, we're not. All you're going to have is a fucking wheezing asthmatic droid sticking its arms out, having its arms split off into 2 pairs each, spinning around lightsabers for a couple seconds before Obi-Wan is just like, yeah, fuck this, chops off 2 of them, and then we're done. Yeah. Again, that's the extent of the Terminator franchise with Star Wars. It's the same fucking thing. You just don't think past it. You don't think character. You're not... Okay. So the question always becomes, when you criticize a thing, how would you have done differently? How would you have done better? Well, let's take another drinky. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let the liquor do the thinking. Let the liquor do the thinking. Okay. Dig, if you will, a story. So, like I said, let's keep the murder of John Connor as a kid. Rightly so, this would have fucked up Sarah Connor. She's on the edge. She lost her son. She thought everything was okay. It's not. Fucking Terminator that she started to trust and her son loved as a kid came back, blew him away. So obviously that means in the back of her tormented mind that there's still a war that's going to happen. So what if instead of her birthing a new leader, we still stick with the premise that there's going to be a new leader here. And instead of just her waging a one-woman war, we have Sarah Connor going and building an army. Okay, she already established in part 2 that she went and found a guy that she made friends with and helped her get weapons, helped her build a fucking arsenal. All right? So we use that. She can build a team of fucking mercenaries. She can get people together to do something about this shit. Go after the Arnold bot. Okay? Maybe he's domesticated. If you want to go that way, I don't want to go that fucking way. Keep him being a fucking raw, hard-assed killing machine. He's just hiding out. He's shut down somewhere. Who fucking knows where? Maybe they developed some way to track his signal. She remembered a lot of stuff from the original Arnold bot in part 2, so she's able to find a way to track his signal or some shit. Something to do with his fucking battery power source, maybe. Okay, they can fucking do that. If they have EMP technology in this fucking movie, they can fucking do it. So they find Arnold bot. Maybe it reactivates because it was in a sleep mode, and they end up having a huge fucking fight. So she gets to actually blow its fucking head off, avenging her son. Then they begin digging for information. They hook up the brain, what's left of it, into a fucking computer. They read the microchip. They start learning from its files about the new future, what's going to happen, how it happens, when it happens. So they start putting together a database and a timeline of these events. Skynet's not going to fucking care, whatever the hell it wants to call itself this time. Let's just call it Skynet 2.0, okay? That's what's going to fucking happen in this. So that's where we're going. So they put together a database and they decide, okay, now we have the tools, we know what to do. Let's go in and fuck shit up. We can find this company, we can stop them before they even start what they're doing. We can try, and if not stop completely Judgment Day, we can at least fucking delay it inevitably somehow. And they can keep this movement going. Even once they destroy this new AI, it will become kind of like a Knights Templar thing, if you want to go and take it to that point. It'll be a secret society that these people are dedicated to constantly hunting down anything that comes back that's not fucking human, okay? So you don't even need a bad fucking Terminator. You don't even need to introduce a new fucking John Connor. Follow Sarah fucking Connor as she's half out of her fucking mind trying to avenge her son, who she keeps seeing in ghost form following her, until she finally is able to do right and set right the wrongs that were fucking done to her and kill off the Terminator, set up a actual fucking resistance that's working right now. And that is your jumping point into the next fucking film series if you want to do that shit. Then you can start getting into, okay, we've located somebody that is on file as being the new John Connor. This is the new leader of the resistance. We need to find this person and we need to start training them fucking immediately. Or, hey, look, we picked up another heat signature. There's another Terminator. Okay, we're going to get our people out there. Even that would be a fucking awesome movie if you take it that far. If you decide to set up this organization, and then in another sequel, maybe not the second sequel, because the second sequel will be about setting up the new John Connor and saving them, keeping them safe, with all these people set up to battle a fucking machine. But maybe say in the third one, you show this large network has taken over the fucking world, and any Terminator that comes through is immediately fucking killed. So they have to get creative. They have to find newer ways. Maybe they send actual human assassins, people that have explosive devices in them. Like do a fucking Escape from LA. Put a fucking time bomb in someone that's going to go off if they do not kill this person they're told to within a certain amount of fucking days. Okay? Send in something different. Send in another Terminator if you want, but make it unique. Don't just go, well, people like liquid metal because that looks cool and we can use that for a CGI budget because fuck it, why not? Don't use fucking nanobites. Do something original, something different. That's why I'm saying step away from the fucking robots, but more importantly, stay the fuck away from Friendbot and Badbot. We don't need that shit. It was done. Step the fuck away. Don't make friends with a fucking machine. The only machine you can make friends with, or should until you choose not to trust it, is your fucking vibrator. I mean, shit, wouldn't that even be fucking funnier if the fucking a Terminator could just turn whatever it wanted into a killing machine? So you get a woman using a fucking vibrator and it decides to take over it and suddenly it becomes a fucking bomb that blows up inside her cooch. I mean, it's fucking possible. It would be something at least people could laugh at and go, oh, damn, shit. Even have a sex bot of guys banging in the ass turn against him and fucking squeeze his dick off or some shit. There's so many ways you could go with this for a cheap fucking laugh and it would still be a hell of a lot better than the shit we ended up getting. I mean, fuck me, man. Again, there's so much better. I don't even think it has to do with lack of original thought. I think it has more to do with you just need to have faith that the idea you have is going to be a good one and run with it. Don't pussy out on it. Don't chicken shit out on it. Don't meddle with it. Just go with an idea. Stick with it. See where it leads you. Let it be completely different, completely new, something that people are just like, what the fuck? And run with it. Don't play it safe. I mean, that's like a fucking golden rule with sequels. Don't ever fucking play it safe. Because if all you do is play it safe, you're going to get the fucking Shrek franchise. Sure, they'll make money, but you're still going to keep spending 4 fucking movies telling us that beauty's on the inside, not on the fucking outside. It irritates me. And these movies, they've all irritated me because you can watch them and you're kind of like, okay, that was kind of entertaining, but God, it was stupid. And that's where these all fit in. It's like there's some moments that you're kind of like, oh, that was kind of neat. But that ended after Terminator 3. Everything else after that, it just seems like you had not even ideas, you had storyboards. You had storyboards that sold a character, sold a moment. And you're just like, man, that's going to look so badass when it's on film. And then as soon as it happens, it's over with. And then you realize, oh, fuck, we got a rest of a movie to fill out. We've got like 58 minutes still to go. Shit, what do we do? Who cares? Fucking Terminator Salvation. And that's even what it feels like with that movie. It's like that movie was just built on the premise of, look at these cool scenes that James Cameron gave us of fucking skulls being crushed by chrome metal and how awesome and badass that looked. Having fields of T-800s walking across and shooting at everything in front of them. Even this movie opened with that. It opened with a storming of the beach in Normandy scene with fucking T-800s, dual wielding rifles, pew 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 pew. Like it was the same shit they did in Terminator 2. That's how you get people. You show them things that look familiar and they'll remember because like, oh, that happened in the beginning of that movie. And that makes them feel nostalgic. You don't, even that I can kind of say this movie doesn't entirely do. I guess that's a plus, maybe, but it still does. I mean, you still have to hear, I'll be back, but this time Sarah Connor says it. You still have to have some kind of references from the other movies to make people go, ha ha, I get that. It's not as bad as some, but it's still as bad as most. The movie just, it needed to not be. It needed to not exist. A Terminator should have came back, stopped this movie from being made, and just said, stop. Step away from the cameras. Stop. Okay, maybe fucking COVID should have struck when this was being made, and then people go, you know what? Maybe we should rethink this script. Even that's kind of a fucked up thing, but I kind of like the idea of is with all of us being locked up and having to isolate at home, wouldn't that be so nice if script writers were actually coming up with new content, new ideas in movies, just writing away one after the other, or spending all that time working on just one movie and then unleashing it on the world once things get back to a somewhat livable state? Wouldn't that be so much better than just regurgitated shit? I mean, anything is better than this. I talked about taking a shit and wiping your ass and being fine with that because it explains perfectly this movie when it shouldn't. I mean, these movies have just become a joke. It's just, they all become a joke at some point. What's funny to me is people take these ones more seriously than they do horror film franchises. Because with horror franchises, you always have the joke of, well, how many films have they done of this character? Well, have they done one where they're in space yet? Which, for those who were curious, Freddy has still yet to go into space. But there's always a chance. There's always a chance. But maybe they didn't do that to Freddy because they had a little bit more self-respect for the fucking property and decided, nah, we don't need to do that. Wish they did that with Jason because holy shit. I don't know. There's a lot of ways this could have gone better. A lot of ways this could have gone worse. But the films themselves, they weren't enjoyable. They just dropped in quality. And they just kept dropping, but they kept getting made because you had to put Arnold in it. And this is what I feel kills these movies. It's kind of the same thing, I think, again, going back to the Star Wars well. This is something that Disney, I think, they started to learn and then they kind of went away from. Is that you have to realize the property you have is a lot more than just the three main characters. You can get away from them and do more with that world when you step away from the familiar. When you make something that doesn't have to do with lightsabers and Jedi and the Force, and you just go off on your own. When you do that, when you actually step away from that shit, magical things can happen. I mean, The Mandalorian is not fucking perfect, but it's still a step up from the rest of the shit we got. It's still a step up from not having any fucking plan whatsoever and just saying, YOLO, let's make a movie and see what happens. And then trying to course correct after you fucked yourself. God damn. That's another series I will eventually talk about. Not just the new trilogy, but all three of the fucking trilogies. And that is going to need a lot more booze than what I have in front of me now. Oh, Lord. I have just enough left for one last drink, for a final toast. And I feel I should wrap it up now, because if I don't, I'm just going to unnecessarily shit on this movie, and I really don't want to go there. I've already done enough. I've done enough damage, I think, maybe. But not nearly as much as this fucking movie has done. I just feel it could have been better. It should have been better. It deserved to be better. But for whatever reason, they decided to say fuck that. They thought they would go with cool moments, sell it to, I guess, teen audiences. I don't fucking know. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. So, yeah, it looks about closing time. We should go. So, Gosh, what can we end this on? Yeah, we have to end it on something good. We have to have something good to go with this. There we go. That's something good. When I was a kid, this has stopped since a long time ago. There were only a few comic books I would actually read. Most of those were Dark Horse because those were more dark and gritty. It's like that's also what made the Terminator franchise series. They had a lot of cool stories, some okay ones, but my favorite of all time was always the Alien versus Predator series. Eventually, they came out and did another series. It was kind of a what if of cinematic monsters and heroes. And this remains right next to Superman versus Alien. My favorite one of these was RoboCop versus the Terminator. Of all fucking things to pair off against one another, fucking RoboCop and the Terminator, I never would have fucking pictured. But Jesus almighty, that movie would have been fucking amazing if they did it. I mean, picture that. Alex fucking Murphy, the RoboCop of Detroit, the hero of fucking Detroit, with an army of Ed 209s fighting off against T-800 Arnolds. I mean, it's nothing but pure canon cheese. It would have been fucking great for a laugh, for fucking popcorn. It would have been great. It would have been a fucking tremendously fun movie. And for those that were wondering about Superman versus Alien, the reason it's fucking amazing is it ends with Superman basically having permanent heartburn the rest of his life. He got impregnated with an alien, but because he's the fucking Man of Steel, the alien cannot claw its way out of him. So it ends with him clutching his chest with an alien stuck in him that will never fucking leave his body. So that's the positive I'll leave you all with. As shitty as these movies are, at least it's not Superman with a fucking alien stuck inside his body. Cheers to that. No, that wasn't me being possessed. A nanobite Terminator did not take over my body. That was just delicious. Good night, everyone.